Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. I am your Dallas real estate agent, Jaran Ramsey, and I want to welcome you guys to my channel, Moving to Dallas, Texas. We have a special guest today, and we're going to dig right into some new construction homes. We're in Royce City right now, and we have some wonderful things to share with you. And I'll let my colleague introduce himself before we start.
Hey guys, I'm Gene Carter with Highland Homes. You guys know me from TikTok, Instagram. I do the stupid videos, but I'm here to inform you guys that we have inventory on the ground, and we also have some special incentives. And I'm with Jaran right here just to kind of share some feedback about why Highland. So I would like to take him off and be able to share with them.
All right, let's dig right into it. So the first question that we have for you is this. What options do current renters or first-time home buyers have when it comes to building their home or starting that process?
So this is a great question. We just had recently a buyer come in and they were under the impression that they had to sell their home to be able to qualify. And this is where we kind of get into a scope of what's the best case scenario for each and every buyer. So we don't want you to sell your asset, obviously, because it's an asset that's always going to appreciate over time. But what we try to do is basically put it into a best case scenario to where if we feel like you can be able to rent the property out and be able to have it to where you can walk into this new home without having to sell it and use that equity to be able to move into this one, obviously that's what we want you to do because you'll have an asset that will continue to build over time. But in this situation at hand where you would have to sell your home, in the same kind of scenario that we had yesterday with our buyer, we presented two different scenarios to her on an FHA or a conventional, and it just all depends on the vibe that you're looking for and what is best case for your home and situation right now for your financials. So we obviously felt like in her situation at hand is that conventional was a better route, and we obviously wanted her to sell the home because at that moment in time she didn't have the financial or the income or the monies to be able to put down for the cash reserve. So we are getting into where we are selling our home and be able to get into one of our newer homes with Highland right now. So it's kind of a per case scenario, but best options are whatever you're looking for within the inventory home or also build jobs. So if you have a house to sell, we can put you on a contingency for a build, and then for inventory homes, it just depends on what the stage is because we obviously want you to be in your home and not have to move twice. So we kind of time that out perfectly with the realtor and the lender and us as the builder.
So you guys heard that. If you currently are in a situation where you're renting, you can certainly start the building process. Okay, so just because you are renting, it doesn't mean you can't start the process. The average time build could take
6 to 8 months. Right now, if you went under contract with us for our sales agreement, permits will take about 45 to 60 days. And then getting to design studio will probably be right under that 60-day window. And then that build time frame will take about 5 to 6 months from there, depending on the 1 or 2 stories. So gap wise, you'll probably be about 5 to 7 months, depending on the 1 or 2 story. And it'll put you right into the spring time frame of March to April or May time.
Okay, thanks for that information.
Yeah, absolutely.
The second question I have for you, what are some common myths that people have about new construction homes or the home building process?
Yeah, so just recently I had a buyer come in about a week ago, and he was under the impression he had to put 20% down. This is the biggest common myth that I would say with first-time home buyers. And in my buyer profile for that first-time home buyer bracket, that's the number one thing that I would say people have that mindset of is that they have to have 20% to be able to qualify. We have tons of different loan programs with my preferred lender, and I know other lenders out there are going to have different ways to be able to get you into the home. There's down payment assistance. We also have USDA out here based on certain restrictions, and then FHA with 3.5% down. We also have conventional at 5%, and so there's just ways around that to be able to get them into the home, but that's the biggest common myth that I would say that as the first-time home buyer bracket.
So you guys don't have to put too many eggs in one basket when it comes to starting the home build process or buying your first home. You can utilize the FHA loan, 3.5% down. You can put 10% down, 5% down. Everybody's situation is different and it's highly situational. So this is why it's important to talk to the professionals. Gene, he also has a preferred lender.
Yes.
And I'll allow him to speak more about the incentives and promotional features that they have by using their preferred lender.
Yeah. So right now we have some great incentives for all of our move-in ready inventory homes before the end of the year. Right now on a conventional, it's 30-year fixed interest rate. It is at 5.99 interest rate. And this is on a conventional at 5%, 10%, but it's also on a sliding scale. So you don't need the full 20% down. And then there's also the conventional at 20% down as well. But that's with the 5.99 fixed interest rate. We also have either or, where if you do a government loan, you can be able to get the $15,000 in closing costs. It's an up to amount. So if you're doing conventional, it's 5, 10, or 20%, and it'll be on that 5.99 fixed interest rate. And then with the government loan, it'll be up to $15,000 in closing costs. And then also for any of my move-in ready inventory here, specifically with Waterscape 40s, we will have the move-in ready package that will come with the washer, dryer, French door fridge, and also blinds as well.
Okay. My next question for you is, let's say a home buyer, they come out, they love the product, they want to move forward, they have been pre-approved. What options do they have in terms of earnest money, deposit? Are you guys lenient when it comes to the earnest money deposit to start the process? Could you talk more about that?
Yeah. Absolutely. So everybody's situation is different, and I kind of say like, hey, what's your best outcome, and how can we get you across the finish line to be able to get you into the home? My overall goal with the realtor, lender, and also as the builder's rep is to get you into the new home. So everyone's financials are totally different. So our standard earnest money deposit is going to be 3%, and then I always kind of lay it out and say, hey, it's $10,000. But if someone's in that predicament and saying, hey, it's gonna break the bank for me right now, Gene, I can't do that. My next question would be, what's the most you can do without breaking the bank to put yourself in a financial comfort situation? Because overall, if it's a build job, I don't want you to feel like you have to flex your bank account and then be stressed out for the next 6 months. But if it's on an inventory home, it's standard 10,000. But if we are not in the position for a build or an inventory home to be able to do that, my next question will be, what's the most you can be able to do? And then we kind of navigate from there, and then I get it final approved as well. But on a build job, obviously we will have to go to design studio. So once we get into that build job, and then we get into the earnest money deposit, and then come back from the design studio, there is an option deposit. So whatever the options that you guys put down at design studio, we require that you guys do 50% down for whatever it is that you spend. So if it's $10,000, we ask you that you put a $5,000 deposit down to be within that realm.
We have options, ladies and gentlemen. So if you guys are on the fence in terms of home ownership, it does not hurt to come out and meet with the sales counselor just to see what they have to offer, right? Some of you guys may be in that curiosity stage or phase, and you just kind of want to get a taste of home ownership. And let's say if you decide to go ahead and get pre-approval and discuss those financials with a loan officer, that doesn't actually guarantee or mean that you're moving forward to buy a home, right? You may just want to say, hey, based on the product that Highland has and my approval amount, you probably just want to gauge to see if the affordability is there. They could probably figure out some ways to make home ownership a reality for you. There are zero down options. You have the USDA loans that are eligible for certain buyers. Right now it's affordability is tough for a lot of people. Interest rates are higher. I imagine that maybe Highland, their preferred lender, could have some options for people to buy down their rates and whatnot to make it a reality. So it doesn't hurt to talk to a professional. And by talking to a professional, it doesn't cost you a dime. The only thing it costs you is time. That's maybe 10 or 15 minutes. So the last question I have for you, Gene, is why Highland Homes?
All day. So why Highland? Kind of give you a breakdown of my testimony of why I came to this company is because I was working for another builder, and I bought a Highland home, and that experience overall transformed of what my wife and I's thought process was buying a new home, because we were so used to of what our builder was we were working at before. That first experience, when we walked in, that awe feeling of when you walk into a home and fall in love with it, that's what captivated me to Highland. And it kind of took me about 1.5 years. And when I started realizing, when my wife stepped away from new home sales as well, I started realizing that I kind of want to make a push for Highland. And typically you need a lot of experience to be able to be here, but did several interviews and I got onto that. But all that to say is that I came here because of the quality, the luxury, and the value of what this product and what this company stands for. Not from the core values and the integrity standpoint, but just when I have a home to sell, I feel like I have respect and a customer service vibe to where I can be able to, hey, this is the home and this is what you're getting. And I stand by the product line and I believe in it to where each and every time that I sell you a home, I don't have a guilty conscience or I stay late up at night and stressed out or have anxiety, because I know with my builders, they'll take care of the product line and they'll also take care of the buyers pre-close and during their walkthrough, during the orientation. If you do a third-party inspection, I can send it over to my builders and I know that it'll get thoroughly taken care of, and that any line items that are needing to be addressed, I know my builders will get everything taken care of, and I just trust the product line and I just know that it's going to be a great overall home, and it's not going to be a house, it's going to be a home for you and your family. And so why Highland is because it's going to be a home and not a house.
Highland Homes, they don't actually sell homes, they sell peace of mind. And when you're starting your journey, we all want peace of mind, knowing that, hey, I've connected you guys with somebody I know, like, and trust. And so if you guys are just in that curiosity phase, I just want to be here as a vessel and to remind you guys, it doesn't hurt just to ask questions. I'm an open book. I'll leave Gene's his contact information down below. So if you guys have any questions about Royce City, Highland Homes, or living in this subdivision, I'm sure he could be of service to you, and he'll be an open book to inform you guys as well. So you guys don't have to be alone on this journey of home ownership. And if you guys haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Again, I want to welcome you guys. My name is Jaran Ramsey. I am your Dallas-Fort Worth real estate agent. And thank you guys for tuning in. And right now, let's go check out some homes.